Welcome back to the East End here on News 12 Long Island. Grumman was a major part of Long Island for many, many years, but there's another group that's been around for a lot longer, the Shinnecocks. And there's something new on their Native American reservation in Southampton, a new coffee roasting business.
I got into it about 10 years ago when I was working at my sister's coffee shop, and we set up a program. It was based on buying coffee beans from natives in Central America and bringing them to Shinnecock, to our native home, and selling them to a lot of natives around here. So we had like a native to native exchange. And I went to a roasting school and just got into it from there.
Well, I didn't know there was such a thing as roasting school.
Yeah, yep, a short school. So they give you the basics, and then you can run with your own techniques and develop from there. We get the green beans. They're dried green beans from Guatemala is our regular coffees. We have Peruvians that are our decaf coffees. All fair trade coffees, so all the growers get the going rate, and all organic. The market has a certain fee that they set as an acceptable wage to pay workers in a lot of the Central American countries. So we support that. We support treating people like good human beings. And we also like the factor that they're not dealing with pesticides. But the green beans will go in the roasting machine, and they roast for a certain amount of time, depending if it's going to be a medium roast or a French roast or a dark French.
So with coffee making, it's not really so much with the bean you start with, it's what you do to it. The roasting time, that sort of thing?
It's funny because there's a lot of different elements. We do have to have an excellent green bean product when we start. And from there, the process has to be done, I hate to say the word consistent over and over, but that's what goes through my head. But we have to do the exact same roasts. It can't be too light or too dark or too long, or even the weather outside can affect the roasting. On a rainy, humid day or a cold day, I have to adjust. We do 3 different roasts. We do a medium roast, a French roast, and a dark French roast. And then we have blends in between.
So let's take each one of those. A medium means what?
Oh, it's light. It's our lightest roast, and it has a little bit of an acidic type flavor, so it's a little sharper flavor. The French is a little bit darker, has a warm, little more, it's not so acidic. And then our dark French roast, which is just a nice, strong, bold flavor.
So when people are talking about roast and it's darker, they're talking about the color of the bean.
Yes,
and
right.
It just means that you roast it longer to make it darker.
Absolutely, right. Yep, a stronger flavor. You're not necessarily more more caffeine, but stronger flavor. Okay, I gotta do a few more samples, and we'll be ready to unload it in just a minute. A few more of these.
So you release based on the color from what you see?
Yes, yep.
It's kind of a judgmental thing.
It is. There's a few things. The color, the timing, and the smell. And we're all set right now. So I'm going to let these come out. And this is the medium roast. So there's quite a few little steps that really have to be followed. And the coffees come out exactly the same every time. And that's #1 importance for the customer. So they make their coffee the same way every time. It's always no surprises.
Now, is your interpretation of a medium roast the same as, Maxwell House or some other, maybe artisan around the world?
There's a pretty much standard as far as when the beans pop. So at our first pop is how we do our medium roast. Some other companies may take their beans a little after the pop, in the middle of the pop, or just before. But we do all have that pop, and we can decide what we do with it.
And you say pop, so those beans inside the roast are literally popping?
Yes, yep. There's a certain point where they literally pop open, and a lot of the moisture it comes out at that time. So it's a big factor in the roasting process when those pops happen.
Now I see you, so that's what you're doing when you're putting your ear up against the roaster.
Yep, listening for the pop, and almost listening for when it's about to start, and maybe at the loudest point, and hopefully I catch it before it stops popping.
Now, right after you roast the beans, you're bagging them.
That's right. That's right. The packaging that we have is equipped with a one-way valve that lets out all the CO2 gases. So we can seal the bags immediately, and they won't explode because they have this one-way valve coming out. If we didn't have that valve, we couldn't seal it right away. But since we do, we can roast, grind, package, seal, bring to the customer that same day, and there's no fresher product than that, from green to the shelves.
And who are you selling to, Ben?
We have a big online business. We also have stores locally in the Southampton area. Two of our biggest Southampton stores are Katina's Market, and the other is Schmidt's Produce. We have one store on the reservation called Raindrops Quick Stop. They sell a lot of hot coffee and shelled coffee. And in Watermill, we have Foodie's Restaurant.
Do you like what you do, Ben?
I love it, and this is what I would like to get. I have a lot of family people that help me out.